It's a veto night. Kevin and Kaysar are on the block, and the only way to save themselves is to win that power of veto. Both Kevin and Kaysar are pretty much playing solo games at this point. They have light relationships with some other people, but really they are expendable pieces to every single person who's in that house. Let's just jump straight into that veto before talking about the episode. It was an endurance comp. Usually we get our endurance comps for HOHs, but it was nice to see the endurance comp on the veto, which hopefully means we don't get an endurance comp tomorrow night for the HOH, because I do like seeing who wins before the end of that episode. This was an endurance comp, and I would have really thought that Bailey was going to run away with this thing. Like, I saw who was playing, and I was going to say, okay, this is probably going to come down between Bailey and Tyler. They'll battle it out. And instead, it comes down to Kevin and David. That was a little shocking. I'm glad David didn't win, because who knows what is going through his head. I don't even think he knows what's going through his head. Mr. 187 IQ, and still can't figure out the rules of the game. If any of you out there ever happen to go onto the Big Brother subreddit, you get to see lots of quotes from David, from the live feeds that don't make it to TV, that really leave you scratching your head about how this guy managed to get himself into the Big Brother house twice. But anyways, that's another story. We can just move on from there. So Kevin ends up winning the power of veto, and obviously he is going to save himself. From there, it's Enzo's decision who he wants to put up on the block. Enzo, so far, he's kind of talked a big game, especially in the diary room. But when it comes to his actual actions, very, very weak, safe plays. That's why we ended up with Kaysar and Kevin on the block. They don't have any allies. There's no retribution for when people go home and they're not working with anybody in the house. And once again, Enzo ends up taking the easy way out, as he nominates Christmas to go on the block after Christmas volunteered to be a pawn. Christmas and Enzo have been working together, and I don't know if I'm fully on board with this play by Christmas, because it's even something Christmas said when she presented the idea, is it plants the seed in everyone else's head in the house that you are now expendable, that you are now a pawn. When the next HOH is crowned and they decide, maybe I want to get Danny out, well, throw Danny and Christmas up. Christmas has now been established as the new pawn, and that could work against her in the long run. So hopefully she can overcome that, because I would like to see Christmas go pretty far in this game. She's been steering pretty clear of all the drama and the messiness in the house so far, and she does have a good group of allies around her that she is working with. So she's getting herself pretty set up for the long term here. One other thing I wanted to touch on before I go here is Memphis. Mornings with Memphis. This is probably the first thing Memphis has done in the house this season that I actually enjoyed. So props to you, Memphis. I guess it's not all bad when it comes to you and your morning interviews with Kaysar. Keep them coming, because that was one of the highlights of the show for me. That's it. That wraps up our Wednesday night of veto ceremony. So Kevin wins, takes himself off the block. Christmas goes back up. It's Kaysar versus Christmas tomorrow night. And sadly, it looks like we'll be saying goodbye to Kaysar, because for whatever reason, no one was willing to work with Janelle and Kaysar this season, and very baffling to me. But we are in for, 4 or 5 more weeks of just floaters going home before we get to see some actual Big Brother gameplay. So pretty slow start to this all-star season, and they're going to need some double evictions or some twists, turns, something to spice this season back up. All right, I will see everybody again tomorrow night for the live eviction, and until then, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you later.